Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the V-MODA Crossfade 2 wireless headphones. I looked at a couple of different pairs of V-MODA headphones on the channel previously. They have brought out a wireless pair of headphones before the original Crossfade wireless. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to review that version, so I was definitely amped when I got the chance to review the second generation. And obviously, since I didn't review the original Crossfade, it's going to be my first time using the wireless versions. Obviously, I'll cover the differences between the previous Crossfade and these ones, and then also compare it to the ones I've used before. So the main things you need to know in terms of specs, these are using a 50mm dual diaphragm driver with a 5 to 40,000 Hz response rate, which is just nuts. Use a 32 ohm impedance. They do weigh 292 grams, which is slightly increased from the last pair. Also, you need to bear in mind they've got batteries in as well, so that's going to give it some added weight. Although those batteries do give you up to 14 plus hours of playback, which is just ridiculous. You can also use them wired, which is great. I know a lot of people prefer wired audio as well, and some people may want to get the improved drivers but still use them wired anyway, so always nice to have the wired option available. Now you can get them in 3 different colours. We've got the matte black for you to see today, which are currently priced at £300 or $330. Matte white, which is again is the same price. Then the rose gold, which features Qualcomm ATPX, they're actually £330 or $350. You can actually use these for gaming as well if you wanted to add the Boom Pro mic. They also do 3D printed shields as well, which is pretty cool. Might have to have a look at those in the future. There's a few other specs on the box, of course, that you can have a look at just by pausing. So these come in the familiar packaging we've seen from V-MODA before. Simple but very effective. Although this time they've blacked it out, which is a lot nicer, I think, than what they used before, which was white. And the one thing I really do like is the little bit of cloth you have to actually cut to get into the headphones. Something very simple, but does add a nice touch to the box. So the first thing we're going to see is some stickers and then obviously an instruction manual. You don't really need that though, the headphones are nice and simple, which is nice. They come with the carry case that we've seen before. This one's had a little bit of an improvement, which I'll show you in a moment. First thing we've got is our braided cable for your wired connection. Good thing to note is a little Velcro wrap around that can actually stick inside your headphone box so you don't lose it. One end you've got a 45-degree angle cable which goes into your device. This has got the speakeasy mic on there, as well as a play and pause button. Then the opposite end you've got that goes straight into the headphones. There's a little notice on there that the remote will not work if you use them the other way around. You do get a really nice flat micro USB for charging as well. I didn't find myself using this though, as I've already got ones that are plugged into my PC. And if you're using this through an amplifier or even DJing and mixing, then you've got an adapter should you need it. So one of the upgrades they put on these Crossfade 2 is the ability to take out this little panel that allows some airflow to get through your headphones. So using the carabiner, you can clip it on your bag, maybe after a gym session or even after DJing when you're getting hot and sweaty. It allows some airflow through the headphones just to get those ear cushions nice and dry. Okay, so looking at the actual Crossfade 2 headphones themselves, you'll see on the side the shields that are actually matte black. Absolutely love matte black stuff. So this is right up my alley. So as usual, they've got a really great build on these. They're absolutely solid. The headband is metal and it goes through the entirety of the top and around the headphones. You can actually fold these flat if you wanted to up to 10 times before they'll break. I actually had somebody ask me on a live stream, I bet you can't bend them flat, and I did it on the stream. So very, very strong. I did actually keep the plastic on for the entirety of my testing until this point. So if you're wondering how they look so fresh, I literally took the plastic off to record the end of the video, which you'll see here. I don't know about you, but that was really satisfying to me. So on the side, we've got adjustments to adjust the length of the ear cup in proportion to the actual headband. They do have a really wide stretch as well, so if you've got a massive head like mine, then you're going to have no worries with it at all. That metal headband does really allow some extra play, which is great. It doesn't look the most padded on the top, but it is actually pretty comfortable. Definitely don't judge the book by the cover in terms of how the headband looks. On the reverse, we've got a nice V-MODA logo. So one of the biggest features for the Crossfade 2 wireless is the click fold design. We previously saw this on a few of their headphones, but it didn't actually come on the original Crossfade wireless. You did have a big carry case that you had to have, obviously, where you couldn't fold them, but they've brought this back, which was one of the most requested features from the feedback of the Crossfade wireless. So a lot of people are going to be happy to see that, especially as it makes them so much more portable. So under your ear cups, you've got the 50mm drivers. These are very padded as well. You can actually buy XL ear cups if you wanted to go even more padded. But for me, I found these to be really comfortable, especially wearing glasses. There's not a lot of clamping force either, so I didn't have any discomfort even with wearing glasses. Really, really very comfortable. So on the previous headphones we looked at, we've had two 3.5mm connections. Obviously with this one being wireless, we're going to have one of these is now a micro USB port for charging. then the other one is for your wired 3.5 connection. So the little switch on the right ear cup will turn the actual headphones on, then holding that down again for 3 seconds will allow it to go into pairing mode where you can connect to your device. Then above that we've got options for play, pause, volume and then previous and next track. They have debossed logos on as well, so you can easily find them without looking. Actually, on that point, hold up. Companies, please take note of V-MODA's design. We don't need those kind of touch control gimmicky styles to control our media playback. Just give us simple buttons like this. That's really all we need. Now if you're like me and always forget to charge your headphones, of course having the wired option is great as well. This does bring some different sound properties from the wired and wireless though. I'll explain those in a moment. So I've shown you all the physical aspects and had a good look around the headphones. Now it's time to put this into a conclusion. So I went into this with a high expectation as I reviewed the M100s and the XS previously, and I was very impressed on both of those offerings. So I did set the bar pretty high when the Crossfade 2 wireless came through the door. Now you do need to bear in mind that I didn't actually review the previous Crossfade wireless. I am skipping 2 generations in the audio performance as well. So there are a few different variables that we need to consider as well, comparing them to the previous ones I've looked at. One thing they haven't changed though is the build quality. These are built like an absolute tank. The Steel Flex headband, again, is another great feature. You can push these down flat on the desk if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to try that really, but it's good to know that they're going to hold up if you do that. Matching those headphones with the case you get as well just means you're going to get protection for no matter what happens to them. So chucking them around in a bag or in a car, chucking them into your van after a gig, they're going to hold up, which is good for peace of mind. I love the colour options they've gone for as well. The matte black and then having that orange cable looks really good. On the last ones I reviewed, we had the red sides with the matte black plates, gloss outsides, and then a black cable. It worked okay, but I think the stealthy approach around the headphones, but then the bright orange cable just really pops. Definitely looks a lot better than the previous ones. But the most important thing you're going to want to know is obviously the sound. So we're going to break it down into mids, lows and highs as I usually do, and then just a general consensus for sound overall. So bass is very strong. It definitely follows the previous ones that we've looked at. Certainly not a boomy bass by any stretch of the imagination. Nice rumbles in your ears. Coincidentally, if you use this for watching a movie back, any explosions are just going to sound phenomenal. And on another point of that nature, if you were to use it with the Boom XS microphone, then you could even use it for gaming as well. So yeah, great overall in all aspects of bass. For the mid-range, there's definitely a good definition there, a very good balance with also great clarity. The sound stage is a little bit mixed. You can feel that some of the instruments are further back in the sound, but saying that, vocals sound really good overall. The high end sounds good, just like the mid-range, very well balanced. You still have a good warmth there, but it's not too harsh or thin either, which is great. Now when you actually go with the wide mode, you get a little bit of a different sound. It makes it sound a lot more natural than using the wireless option. Just basically gives you a bit more definition and kind of resolution to your sound. Adds a little bit more warmth to the sound as well, which personally I love. Going from the wide option on the V-MODA M100s to then the wide mode on this as well is a much more familiar sound and tone than using the wireless option. But sound in general, these are an absolute cracking pair of headphones. They're currently the best pair of over-ear headphones that I do have, so that should say something there. Price wise, it is an expensive pair of headphones, but if you're all about that sound and you want to spend some money on something decent, great build quality, fantastic sound, this is definitely a worthy contestant to the money. On another aspect, a DJ that wants high quality sound, and especially something with a high build quality like this that can be thrown about, another good side to look at there. More for the rugged aspect, but still giving a good sound when you're mixing. So even though I did set the bar pretty high when these arrived, it did live up to those expectations following the previous ones that I've looked at. Now things that I'd like to see an improvement on, I got about 10 hours of playback from the wireless, even though they did say it was about 14 hours plus, so those figures aren't totally accurate, but obviously there's always the wide mode should they die anyway, which is always good. Another thing I'd like to see on the next version, which I'm pretty sure they're going to make another pair, is USB-C instead of the micro USB for charging, purely because that's going to be the new standard, so why not incorporate it sooner rather than later. So that sums up my review for the V-MODA Crossfade 2 wireless. I will put all the links for these in the description box below if you want to get yourself a pair. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My username is Jordan Ash Media. You can find links in the description for that as well. Thank you to V-MODA for sending these out for me to review. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.